What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about The Last of Us TV show. We talked about it, a few weeks back in terms of them starting filming, and then since then, we've heard things here and there, and we've even seen pictures here and there of how things are going. And one of the things that we saw was the budget per episode. Now, we don't have an exact figure for it, but we know that each episode costs more. We don't know how much more, but more than $10 million or $10 million and more per episode. So that can get pretty darn expensive, right? Another thing that came out literally just yesterday, right? Obviously is what sparked me wanting to do the video, is you have Alberta's premier Jason Kenney, okay? And he was doing a press, basically talking about the economy of Canada, or of his, I guess, sector, right, of Alberta. And, I'm not going to go into the politics of it. It doesn't sound like they're having the greatest time, even though politicians will lie all the time. But one thing he let slip, or he said, to at least make himself and make the town look a little bit better, is that The Last of Us TV show is filming and that it's doing really well. Even the film, and this comes from the article, even the film and TV sector is thriving, as filming for the new HBO series based off the video game The Last of Us started this summer in southern Alberta. Kenney has been told that HBO will be spending upwards of $200 million per year on the project, which could last as many as 8 seasons. Now, both of those are their own unique things I'd love to talk about, okay? So we're going to kind of break it up, obviously in the same video, but let's start with the $200 million per year. That, I believe, would go towards, filming it, and then probably, I would assume, everything that comes with the after process in terms of the editing, the post-production, and then maybe the marketing on the HBO side to get the episodes up, okay? So, again, I mean, you break down $200 million if it's 10 episodes, right? And I think the episodes are known, but I forget. It's either 8 or 10, but let's say 10 just because of an even number. That'd be $20 million per episode, which is a lot of money. So in terms of, I guess in terms of positives, because look, I should make it clear in case you guys have never, seen other videos of me. I mean, I adore the first game, and I love a lot of parts of the second game too. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I'm also not as critical of it as you've seen kind of the best and worst, of that game. I'm somewhere in the middle. I feel like I'm more just understanding of kind of both sides to it, but that's just my personal opinion. But that's where I stand. I love the game, at least the first game, to death, and I don't think a TV show is needed. I've always been against really doing this because I think at best you can only match or even get slightly below the quality of that. You know what I mean? So I think The Last of Us show at best can only be probably slightly below the quality of the game because the game is just so special. I don't really think there's any way of replicating that the way people think. Again, all of my own personal opinion. So I have been, I guess, quote unquote, against the show from the beginning. However, I want the show to do good. I don't want it to fail. I don't want it to suck. I want it to do well. It's just I'm pretty concerned about it. The casting, very hit or miss. I think some of them have been pretty good. Some of them have not been pretty good. And we've made videos on that in the past. So just to try to make you guys understand, I guess, where I'm coming from. On the good side of things, a budget that big is probably a good thing. I mean, the quality of the show, like it or hate it, like based on, the writing decisions could be horrible. They could really take the story off the deep end. They can inject things that nobody wants them to inject into this story, whatever they do. But you can't probably deny the quality in terms of the infected, the clickers, all that stuff. I feel like it's probably going to be, I mean, it really is movie level quality on television. So in terms of the money, spend as much as you want. It's going to be, if it succeeds, it's money well spent. If it fails, you're going to lose money, and I'm not going to cry over HBO losing money. I don't really think anybody should. So that's the one thing. The thing I have a bigger issue with, just flat out, and again, if you don't agree with me, it's okay. I mean, I'm not one of those channels that say, if you disagree with me, get lost. No, I want people to disagree. I think it makes for cooler conversations. The 8-season thing, I think is just a disaster in the making. Now, does that mean it's going to be 8 seasons? No. But again, he says, which could last as many as 8 seasons. And again, and I think this is very true, politicians lie literally as their job. It's what they're best at, even though we catch them all the time. I don't think he's lying about this, right? Because it's something that HBO probably didn't promise him, but told him. They said, okay, look, we're going to have this little section as our filming location. Here's the money that we're going to be putting into it. Here's the money we're paying you, or, and there's tax write-offs, I'm sure, for all this kind of stuff. And, I'm sure somewhere in there, the conversation comes around of, oh, well, how long is this going to go for? And they're like, well, maybe 8 years. Like, maybe that's probably the max that we're thinking of. And, and that's that. So, again, like, done right, it's a really tough thing, right? Because I guess if the show is incredible and it makes people cry of of goodness, not of because we hate it so much that we're crying of anger, but we're crying of excitement and all that stuff. Sure, I mean, I guess the more the merrier. I would argue 8 seasons of anything is too much. Even if you love something, I think 8 seasons of it. Now, I don't watch many television shows, and really my entire life I haven't watched a lot of television shows, but I would say even games, movies, you probably shouldn't go to 8. It just seems like too high of a number where the quality or the care for it just isn't going to be as special. So just hearing that just doesn't sound good. And I don't really know where you can... Now, maybe you can make it... And I saw some people say, like, you can make it like The Walking Dead. I mean, look, I respect the heck out of The Walking Dead. I stopped watching it a couple years ago, right after Rick left, but I've been staying up to date. I know the show's actually pretty solid in terms of quality even now, but, like, did it need to go on this long? Again, I guess that's a personal opinion. It's up to you, but I don't know. I don't know if it needed to. I don't know if anything, again, needs to go that long. So, even saying, well, this could be HBO's Walking Dead. Well, do they need one? Like, and not just do they need one, is The Last of Us supposed to be like that? I don't think it is. I really think, actually, it would make people more upset if you look at it from, if you hated 2, if you hated Last of Us Part 2, remember, after 1, they really thought it was it. Like, 1 was made to be a standalone kind of experience, and they ended it purposely like that with no intention of making, they had to sit and talk for a very long time before settling on, doing a 2 and what 2 would look like. And again, they nailed it to some, and they completely killed the franchise for others, right? They made the best decisions or they made the worst decisions. It depends on, who you are. And neither of them, I think, are wrong. It's just a personal thing. But again, going into this, it's like, well, I don't know, the first game was never really intended to be more. So if you say, well, it can be its own universe and there could be spin-offs and stuff, well, I don't really think that's what the game was meant to be. In fact, even right now, like, do I think there will be a third Last of Us game? Yeah, but you should probably stop. I don't really think there should be spin-offs. Like, multiplayer, I guess, is fine, but, like, just stop. You know what I mean? Just it's not that kind of thing. I would have even argued at some points Uncharted, although Uncharted is a little bit of a... It's a thing I think you can do more spin-offs. You can do one on his brother. You can do one on his daughter. You can do one on... I don't know. I don't know if you could do another character that's not related to Nate in some way. And that's just kind of a thing that happens with these kind of properties, right? So I don't know. I mean, overall, I would say this is more of a negative thing. The price per episode and price per season is enormous. I mean, if this fails, they are going to just eat that money. It's going to be the worst thing you've ever seen before, worst thing they've ever seen before. I don't want that. I wish, unless the show sucks, then I'll want it. But, as of right now, I'm kind of rooting for it. But, again, I would also say don't overstay your welcome. Nobody, I think, really asked for this. I really don't think so. I don't think anybody was petitioning 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, give us a Last of Us TV show. I think it works perfectly as the game. I don't even think everybody wanted a second game. And then here we are. We got a second game, and it didn't even... It upset quite a few people. And it also didn't upset people. But that's what happens when you come back. So, I don't know. That definitely is the more negative thing. 8 seasons? No. No, thank you. Absolutely not. Because that either means they're going to really go places the game has never gone before. And by that, I mean... after the game. So, like, are they gonna, like, they're gonna make The Last of Us 5 in a TV show, or the opposite, it will be the most slowly paced thing we've ever seen, where season 1 may be 1/3 of the first game. Maybe season 4 is The Last of Us 2. You know what I mean? So, like, there's ways of doing it, and I would not like that either. Honestly, I wouldn't at all. So, either way is almost a lose-lose. So let me know, guys. Maybe I'm completely off the mark here. You can let me know, hopefully nicely, in the comments below. But no, honestly, let me know what you think. Make sure, if you haven't already, you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. I may not have the most popular opinion. I may say things that others are maybe too afraid to say, but trust me, I will be covering this show I'm going to give it a chance, all of that kind of stuff. So there will be plenty of coverage on the show as we get closer. Any news like this, I'll be sure to cover on the channel as well. If you want to check out any of our social media stuff, we have a Twitter, we have a second channel, we have a Patreon and YouTube memberships if you guys want to support us there. All of the links are in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you all on the next video.